Yeah, let's go. We back. If this is your first time on my channel, I am Coach Rountree. On this channel, I post interview tips and career advice to help you elevate your game. How do you go to the next level? All right, this video I'm excited about. How to prepare for a job interview. Fundamentals. This video is all about the basics. I got 5 tips for you. Not a scripted video, just gonna give you some gems. I have an interview next week. I'm gonna give you everything I got to help you be prepared. In case you didn't know, so my background, over 15 years of experience, majority of it has been in the retail and marketing space. Recently, I transitioned to product management in the tech space, but over the last 15 years, I've interviewed with all the big dogs, the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Googles, so many other companies, and I've gone through those interview processes, and I really wanted to create a space, this channel, to share what I've learned. So please hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more tips. I'm dropping these every week. All right, let's jump right in. Here are the 5 tips to help you prepare for an interview. Number 1 is prepare and practice STAR demos. Number 2, have your number in your mind of what you want to get paid for this role. Number 3 is prepare 3 questions to ask the interviewer to show that you're engaged. Number 4, dress appropriately. And number 5, keep interviewing. All right, let's break down each one of these. First one we talk about is prepare. All right, depending on the type of interview you have, if it's a phone screen and based on the time, if it's a 30-minute phone screen, they're gonna ask you 3 questions max. How do I know that? I've been on several interviews. Here's how it's gonna go. You jump on the Zoom call or you arrive at the office. The first question is always, tell me about yourself. That question is so important because you get to set the stage for the interview. And your goal is to turn it from some structured, rigid interview to a conversation. You do that by really telling your story when they ask you, tell me about yourself. You want to hit the highlights, your current role, your background. I always like to add where I grew up because it's a small world. You never know who knows someone else. And then what are your superpowers and why you're here today. I'm here today because I love the vision of this company. It aligns with who I am as an individual, and I have some innovative ideas to help you grow not only your top line, but bottom line profitability. So I'm excited to learn more. That's off the dome, family. That literally is off the dome because I've gone through these interviews and I've practiced so much, but that's what you need to think about. So if you have a 30-minute interview, you get 3 questions. If you have an hour interview, you're gonna get 4 to 5 questions. What type of questions, Coach? I'm glad you asked. Companies have done research on behavioral interview questions. These are questions that start with, tell me about a time. And then they change the last part. Tell me about a time you led a team. Tell me about a time you had conflict on work. Tell me about a time when you failed. Tell me about a time when you had a tight deadline, you had to make a quick decision. Because companies realize how you performed in the past and other roles is a good indicator of what you're gonna do in this job that I'm thinking about hiring you for. So prepare at least 3 to 5 STAR demos. What is a STAR demo? STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. It's a structured way for you to answer the question and actually answer the question in a job interview, not ramble, not get nervous. So you have to think about your background, your experiences, and then have a STAR scenario for each of those questions. So if they ask you, tell me about a time when you failed, then you're going to answer that in a structured way. Situation, while working at company XYZ, I was a marketing strategy manager. Task, I was tasked with developing a new marketing strategy to launch a new brand globally. Action, the first action that I took is I collaborated with all of my channel owners for email, direct mail, TV, social media, field marketing, and had a strategy session to align on what was our plan. What was the end result? We launched this national campaign for this new product. Unfortunately, it did not meet our sales expectations. What I learned from this experience, like that whole example was literally off the dome. I've practiced so much and had so many experiences. So when I'm asked these questions, I'm ready. So for your interview, Find 3 to 5 common questions, and I'll link some of those in the description below. And then do that. Star, situation, task, action, result. Get 3 of those for your phone screen. Get 4 to 5 for your hour interview. And here's another pro tip. If you have an interview loop with multiple people, you don't repeat the star scores. Have multiple. So we'll talk more about that in other videos, but that is a pro tip because you don't want to continue to say the same star stories when you're meeting with 5 or 6 different people. So you have to really dive deep. All right, let's move on to the next one. Have the number in your head. In your mind, when you walk into a job interview, you should know what you're worth. No one taught me this. You have to do your research on the job. So if I'm applying for a marketing manager job at General Electric, before I start the interview, I'm going to go to Glassdoor.com and type in marketing manager General Electric and hit that submit button. And it's going to pull up that salary. It's going to show me the range based on your years of experience. It's going to show me total compensation in terms of base, bonus, stock potentially. You have to educate yourself early in the process. Number one, it could tell you whether they can even pay you what you're worth or what you want or not. It can also show you the potential for this role so you can lock in and say, wow, I'm making $50,000. This role pays $75,000 to $100,000. I need to take this seriously. So get your number up front. So once you have your number in your head during the interview, if it's the recruiter or the hiring manager, they're going to ask you, what are your salary expectations? I'm going to link a video I made for this response on my channel. But typically, either you're going to give a salary range, you're going to ask them what is your budget, or you're going to give them a number. If you give them a number or the salary range, it has to be at least $10,000 to $20,000 above your current base salary. So that's how you can approach the second part of preparing for your interview. Early in my career, I did not do this, and I was asked this question, and my interview became so uncomfortable because I wasn't comfortable talking about money early in the process. This is the phone screen, the first conversation with a recruiter back in the day. I'm like, we're talking about money? Well, I just want to get paid what I'm worth, and I didn't do my homework. Don't be like me 10 years ago. Take the time to actually research that job and get your number. All right, let's move on to an often missed opportunity. After you do your 3 questions and you do a star method, or your 4 to 5, depending on the interview, then the interviewer says, all right, Coach Rountree, do you have any questions for me? The worst response you can say is, nah, I'm good. I don't have any questions. I'm let down as a hiring manager because I'm not sure if you really want this job, if you're really locked in. So your response to that should be using the acronym N.C.C. N stands for what are the next steps in the interview process? This question is so important because you need to understand whether this is a very quick process or long drawn out. What I mean by that, is it a phone screen, talk to the hiring manager, and then meet with the team? Or is it a phone screen, hiring manager, offer? Or the most realistic situation is phone screen, hiring manager, panel interview, case study, offer. So you have to be able to understand this because this will help you determine your overall strategy for number 5, which I'll talk about a little bit, continuing in the interview with other companies. All right. C, the other C is for a current event. What is a current event? So go to their website, all the way at the very bottom, go click on that press button or about us and look at a recent press release, their earnings report. Did they perform well? Did they beat expectations? A new product launch. Maybe it was a TED Talk that the executives recently had. Do your homework and show that, yo, I want this job. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see you out here making things happen. Oh, what about this play? Like you want to show them that you are invested in the interview process. The last C is culture. Tell me about the culture here. You have to make sure that this is the right place for you. I've seen articles recently where people that accept a new job oftentimes regret it in the first 3 to 6 months because they didn't ask the right questions during the interview. Naka, You need to ask them, what's the culture like? Not only that, research it on Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a platform where current and former employees tell you about the culture. They will give you that reel. So do your homework, but also ask them in an interview to vet it. So when you're asked, do you have any questions for me? Don't miss this opportunity. Have 3 prepared. What are the next steps? What is a current event you've recently seen in the news? And then the culture. All right, 4th tip, dress appropriately. Now, this one has been interesting because everyone's, during the pandemic, worked from home, and there was a shift in attire. Like back in the day when I was working at my first Fortune 50 company, I was in a suit and tie. We're talking 2013, 2014. Like I was suited and booted every day. Like I was known for that style and those roles. And I was comfortable, honestly, in that attire. But if I fast forward now, being in the tech space, showing up with a suit and tie, that's actually overdressing. So my advice to you is go to glassdoor.com, look at some of the people that have interviewed at that company, and they'll tell you how they've dressed. But also, when in doubt, go with business casual. What is business casual? Business casual for the fellas is a polo shirt, no tie, and maybe some slacks or jeans. For the ladies, it could be just a blouse and some pants or a skirt, not over the top, but something that you're comfortable and you don't feel like you're overdressing. That's the thing. If you interview at a tech company and you put on the full 3-piece suit and then you get on the Zoom call or go in person and the person's interviewing you is in a t-shirt and jeans, that creates an imbalance. They feel like, oh, wow, man, I should have dressed up. I just wore what I normally wear. So ask your recruiter, pro tip, ask your recruiter, hey, what is appropriate attire for this interview? Now, caveat, when you start to go to different levels, director, VP, SVP, you definitely want to bring that suit game. You want to bring that suit game because you're an executive. You definitely want to show that. So if you're going through an interview loop that requires a case study or a presentation, obviously you want to dress up for that. I still would recommend, especially for the fellas, I would not wear a tie. I would wear a sport coat and slacks, but I would not wear a tie. Ladies, it could be a pantsuit as well. But just, again, when in doubt, business casual, and ask your recruiter to get better insights. So make sure you dress appropriately. Last one, I'm out. Tip number 5 is to keep applying for jobs. I've said this in multiple videos. I'm going to keep saying it because you might need to hear this. Back in the day, we're talking 2017, 2018. If I applied for a job and I went through all of the rounds of interviews and I was waiting for a decision from that company, that's what I was doing. I was waiting because I felt so confident. I'm going to get this job. I had great energy with everyone on the interview loop, and I would just wait and wait and wait. And finally, weeks later, they would tell me, oh, we decided to go with another candidate. And then I had to restart my hiring process, restart the interview process, and look for other companies. And one of my really, really good friends said to me, you can't just wait for this one job, bro. There's so many other jobs. There's things out of your control. They might have a hiring freeze. They may decide that they want to bring this role internally, or they might just cancel the role overall. You can't control that, but you can control how many apps you put in each day. So I shifted in 2018 to, I'm going to keep interviewing until I get multiple job offers. So I'm passing this on to you. If you had a bomb interview with company A, you know you're going to get the job offer. If you have 3 other job offers, do you think they'll pay you more money? Yes, because you create leverage. And I've personally done this. I was interviewing with a company. They said their budget for the role was $80,000. This was in 2018. I said, well, we'll have a conversation. We'll see. Went through the interview process. I met with everybody up to the CMO of that company. And then I got a competing offer for $105,000. Do you know that company A matched company B to get me as a candidate? Because I created FOMO, fear of missing out. I had leverage. Another company said, boom, he's worth 105. So they went from 80 to 105 to get me for that role. So yes, what I'm telling you is facts. I've seen it with my own eyes. Don't want you to be like me. Keep interviewing. Let's recap. 5 ways to prepare for an interview. Number 1 is actually prepare. Practice your star demos. If it's a 30-minute interview, you need 3 star demos. If it's a 45 to 60-minute interview, you need 4 to 5 star demos. Star stands for situation, task, action, result. That's how you answer. Tell me about a time questions. Number 2 is have your number in your mind. Know what you're worth before you step on that Zoom call or walk into that office. Go to Glassdoor, Indeed, LinkedIn.com, get your number. Number 3 is prepare at least 3 questions. What are the next steps? A current event. Tell me about your culture. You have to ask questions. It shows you're engaged in the interview. Number 4 is dress appropriately. Ask the recruiter what's appropriate attire. When in doubt, business casual. If you're going for an executive role, director or above, I would suit and tie. I would suit up for that to make it happen. And then number 5, keep interviewing. Until you have a job offer, you do not have a decision to make. My mentor told me that 15 years ago. He's like, why are you, I was tripping about, I don't know if I want to move there. I don't know. He was like, bro, you don't even have a job offer. You can't make a decision based on a good feeling until you get that email with your job title and your name on it. You don't have any decisions to make. Therefore, continue to interview. I hope this was helpful. I wish you good energy, good success on your job interview this week or today. Remember, people hire folks that they like. Make a great impression. Arrive early. Be presentable. Be engaged and keep your energy high. People want to see that energy in their office or on that Zoom call or through Slack. Just be yourself. Everybody else is already taken. I think Allen Iverson said that. Yeah, I had to look that one up. But be yourself, and hey, I'm wishing you the best. If you have been impacted by layoffs recently, just know that does not determine your skills or your career progression. We're rooting for you. We know you're going to bounce back. I've been there. I've been laid off throughout my career. It is not a good experience because you can't control it. You walk in one day and I'm going to have to let you go. That's the worst sentence that you can hear, or in this case, receive that via email. So take some time, recharge. A lot of great content on this channel that can help you in terms of updating your resume and getting back into the game. But hope this was helpful. On my channel, I post interview tips and career advice to help you elevate your game. Give me that thumbs up. That helps more people get this content. I'm giving y'all gems, and it's about to pop off. I'm giving it to y'all. Comment below if this was helpful. If you got an upcoming job interview, I respond to every comment, bruh. If you hit me, coach, I'm thinking about XYZ, look at my comments. I respond, and it's me. So yes, if you need me, hit me up in the comments below. Subscribe for more tips and share this with someone that's looking for or preparing for a job interview.